What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Route Runners podcast on YouTube. I'm Jared.
I'm Srikar.
I am James, the Mets fan, and the Mets got the win today, which I'm happy.
Best
And
team in
Pete Alonso
baseball
got
right
hit.
now.
Yeah, Pete Alonso got hit in the face again with a pitch, and it happens. But let's go Mets, baby. Most wins in the MLB.
Yep. So today we are 2 days away from the NFL draft, basically 1 day away, where it's almost midnight on Tuesday. But yeah, the NFL draft is 2 days. What we've been covering for the last couple of months is finally almost here. Before we get to that, Shrieker's we're all in a great mood. Shrieker's obviously in a great mood because his Atlanta Hawks just pulled off the win against the Miami Heat. Oh wait,
No, they didn't.
uh,
That was it was definitely expected to say the least. I mean, we're the 8th seed for all that care, and it was obviously we played not their best, not their starting lineup. They had a lot of injuries, but I know on to the off season. So yeah.
Yeah, well, the offseason for the NFL is firing on all cylinders. Debo Samuel, we don't know what's going on with him. Apparently, they're finally listening to trade offers, but there's only
I saw a report maybe like an hour ago, and they said a league executive told Tony Pauline he expects Debo Samuel to be traded to the Jets for a deal involving the 10th pick.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of good for both sides if that happens. But anyway, it is the NFL draft. We are doing our final mock draft. This is the 4th one we've done. We had the collab with Stick to Sports Network. We're not counting that as ours. This is our last one, and we're going to be doing it a little different this time. Usually, we'd be just recording our podcast, and we have already pre-done the mock draft. But now we're going to give you guys a live mock draft where we don't know how the rest of this draft is going to go. James is going to be picking 1 for the Jaguars. Shrieker is going to be picking 2 for Detroit. I'm going to be picking 3 for Houston, and we're just going to keep following that order down the draft and see where we end up. So I'm going to share my screen, if that works, and get this started. We are going. Is it working? Did that work? Yay.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. So we're doing 1 round. I have never used this website before, but let's just see how it goes. So, James, you were up first with the Jaguars.
I mean, I think this pick is pretty obvious. I know there's been reports that Trayvon Walker may go 1, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Jags they have their mindset on Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan, and I think they're gonna stick with him. So Hutchinson at 1.
All right, Hutchinson.
I think Thibodeau should be going 1, but realistically, if what I think is going to happen is Hutchinson's going to go 1, but I think Thibodeau should be 1.
I agree with you, but again, I agree that Hutchinson's going to go first. So
again, in real life, yeah, Hutchinson's probably going to go 1.
You can defend your pick; it's optional.
I mean,
what is that?
We're right.
I don't know. Okay, all right, Shrieker with Detroit.
Yeah, so I think knowing the Detroit Lions, they've had plenty of mistakes in the past, but I think they have a great regime right now with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell at the forefront. I think what their mindset has been ever since they were both hired was build the trenches first. They went and tried doing that last year by getting Penei Sewell, and I think they're going to do that on the opposite end and get Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. I think he had some injuries here and there this season, but once again, I feel like he's like a 1A, 1B edge rusher in this draft, and I think whichever team he goes to is going to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, I think Kayvon Thibodeau he probably is the best player in the draft. I think he's the best of the 3 edge rushers for sure, and a lot of people just question his motor and his effort and love for football. I don't really understand why. He literally played through an injury last year, so I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau at 2, I think makes perfect sense. At 3 for Houston, I think you just kind of have to go with the best.
Hey, all I gotta say to that is, as long as he's not showing Bo Callahan tendencies, I'm all fine with it. I mean,
great movie.
Yeah.
I think
if you haven't seen it, anyone,
yeah, watch that movie. It's a good movie. But Anyway, I'm going to go with Trayvon Walker here for Houston. Is he the next best player available? I don't know, but I do think he's the next best edge rusher. The problem is with him is that he's a project. He's a project kind of player, but Houston doesn't really need a player to win now. They're kind of just in the dumps. They're one of the worst teams in the league, if not the worst team in the league. They need to build their roster up, and getting an edge like Trayvon Walker, who may not be great in his first year, but if he can by like year 3 become that edge rusher that they need, that would be really good for this team. They could try and protect Davis Mills better with Evan Neal, who I think is probably the next best player in this draft, if not for Kyle Hamilton. But I just think that the first 3 picks are going to be edge rushers, and I got Trayvon Walker going 3.
It's kind of weird that the first 3 picks are edge rushers, but I mean, it's whatever. It's something unusual because we're used to quarterbacks being taken like first, second,
Yeah.
and here are 3 edge rushers. It's all defensive, and it's not going to stick with defensive because I have the Jets picking the no tackle, and I am going to take Ikem Ekwonu because I think he has more of a Hall of Fame talent and more of a Pro Bowl talent than Evan Neal. I mean, he's quick off the edge. You can also slot him at guard. He's good with the run, and we know how much the Jets love Michael Carter. So I think you can slot Ikem in the guard and then run a lot of inside plays with Michael Carter. And I think it's just going to work. And I think he's just a better player than Evan Neal. Evan Neal has been like he was like 1 for a while. Like the Jaguars are going to take him, and he's been falling a lot. And I just think that Ekwonu has just been rising so much. I think like he's living up to the hype, just because of like how like raw he is. And I like him. He's big, strong, and he's very quick off his feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's gonna have a better career than Evan Neal, and he will probably make his a Pro Bowl either first or second year, in my opinion.
All right. Srikar, first pick for the Giants at number 5.
All right, so with James picking Icky, you got to get another O-line here for the Giants. Obviously, they have one of the worst O-lines in the league. So I'm picking Evan Neal, O-lineman out of Alabama. I think this should be a no-brainer for the New York Giants. I think obviously with their new front office and with Brian Dable, they want to protect Daniel Jones at least for 1 year and see what he has with a good O-line. So try to build that O-line, try to see what he has with newer players that you drafted and you traded for. So I definitely think Evan Neal or Icky will be in the Meadowlands, except they're going to be wearing blue.
All right. Yeah, I think that's definitely the best available pick for the Giants. They're also shopping Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hilarious. But anyway, with Carolina Panthers, I think that if Ekwonu or Evan Neal were available, it becomes a decision to make. But apparently the GM today told Sam Darnold that they are going with a quarterback, which I have thought that they are going to for the last couple of years. For the last couple of weeks. And I think Malik Willis is kind of just a Walmart version of Jalen Hurts. I think that his ceiling is kind of Jalen. I don't know. I think that Malik Willis is kind of a very high ceiling but very low floor kind of player. I think that he's very risky, and I think that Kenny Pickett is kind of the exact opposite. So I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett to be the quarterback of the Panthers. He's pretty accurate, and I do think he's the best quarterback in this draft. They can probably trade down from this pick if they really want to, but I'm going to go with Kenny Pickett for Carolina. I think that he's, again, the most accurate. I think Malik Willis is much more of a project. I don't know if Kenny Pickett's going to start day 1, but I definitely think he's the best quarterback in this draft class.
Was it specifically the 6th pick they were drafted QB? Did you know, or is it just like in general?
What do you mean?
Wait, who said that they were drafting QB, or who told Darnold?
The GM.
Yeah, did the GM like specifically say it was going to be the 6th pick, or just like
No.
in general? Oh.
No.
But we're assuming it's the 6th pick.
I mean, yeah, they could trade.
Makes sense.
Anything can happen, obviously. There's no way they trade up.
Yeah.
I know during their press conference today before the draft, they were definitely talking about how they're not gonna. It's gonna be they won't deny.
You're frozen.
Yeah, Shrieker froze. I'll just continue then.
Okay.
So there have been reports about obviously Bradbury getting traded from the Giants, and if that happens, then I think the Giants are going to go corner. But as of now, nothing's happened. So I think we're sticking with the edge theme, and they're going to go Jermaine Johnson here.
Okay.
Out of FSU. Again, if they do trade Bradbury, then I think they're going to go probably Sauce Gardner, but I think they need some edge rush help. So I mean, yeah, Jermaine Johnson's the best available. I haven't heard of this guy until like a couple weeks ago, so he kind of been rising like Trayvon Walker, but apparently he's pretty good. So their Giants are probably gonna take him.
Yeah, Jermaine Johnson's a really good, really good at run stopping for an edge, which is good. All right, Shrieker, you're back. What do you got for the Falcons at 8?
Yeah, so a lot of this wide receiver talk has been a lot of smoke. I think I saw a little bit of their press conference today, and like I just don't think they will pick a wide receiver in this draft, but I don't think it will be in the first round. I think definitely around 8, you're picking best player available, and at this point, I'm leaning Sauce Gardner here. I think getting a guy like Sauce Gardner, you have one of the most interesting and intriguing secondaries in the league. Having a guy that didn't allow a single touchdown on his end in a whole football season. So with the 8th pick, I'm taking Sauce.
With Seattle, Seattle's interesting. Like, I definitely don't think that Seattle should go into week 1 with Drew Lock as their starting quarterback. Drew Lock is pretty terrible. I think that there are probably around 40 quarterbacks that will be in this league by then that's probably better than Drew Lock. But here's the thing. Why take a quarterback at 9 when you can probably get Baker Mayfield for a 3rd or 4th round pick, or Jimmy Garoppolo for a 3rd or 4th round pick? I don't know if they're going to trade in division. Or you can get a guy like Gardner Minshew for a 7th round pick or 5th round pick or something like that. Or if you really like the quarterbacks in this draft, I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot taken by the time that the next time that they have to pick. So wait on a guy like Matt Corral or wait on a guy like Desmond Ridder. That's what I would do.
They have back-to-back picks in the 2nd.
Yeah, so you can definitely use one of those on a quarterback. But Seattle has not had a good offensive line since the first couple seasons with Russell Wilson. I think that they're just going to try and beef up that unit. I'm going to go with Charles Cross out of Mississippi State.
All right. Okay. Now, this poses an interesting spot for the Jets because Derek Stingley is there, but there's also every receiver is still there. So I don't know. So is Jameson Williams fully healthy? Do we know that?
By the looks of it, yes.
You'll definitely be healthy like by the time the football season starts.
I think the Jets take a shot on him. When healthy, he's the best receiver in the draft. So I think if he says he's healthy, then I'd take a shot at him at 10.
I think him and Garrett Wilson are definitely the best receivers. I really like Garrett Wilson. He's been growing on me a lot. But I really like Jameson Williams as well. He's really fast, and he just reminds you of all the Bama receivers that have come out over the last couple of years.
He does obviously have health concerns, but I mean, he recovered pretty quick from the ACL play.
Yeah.
So if he's healthy, he's gonna be healthy by preseason. I think he's gonna be definitely probably the wide receiver 1 of that team. Even though Elijah Moore kind of had a nice season last year, but I think Williams is just too good not to fall behind.
Jameson Williams, Corey Davis, and then Elijah Moore in the slot, and then Jets, and you have Ike Ekwonu. That Jets offense doesn't look too bad.
I mean, they picked Zach Wilson at 2. They're going to supply him with weapons and some support. Again, Stingley is there, but I think by the time their next pick is there, they can scoop up like a nice cornerback at some point. But I don't know. Or they could have went corner now and then gotten a receiver in the 2nd round, but I think Jameson Williams is just too good. I don't want to compare him to Henry Ruggs just based off speed, but I feel like it's a nice comparison because they both get hurt, but when they pop off, they pop off. So yeah. I like the pick. It's a risky pick, but I think it's a good spot. I don't
know. So with the 11th pick, and this is a tough position because I see Derek Stingley is available, but I know I'm not going to pick him. So with the 11th pick, I'm picking someone that has already done the gold and red already in his collegiate career, and he's going to keep doing that in his NFL career. And I'm picking Drake London. Wow. And I just think, not Garrett Wilson. I just think they already have the need of a speedy guy with great hands in Terry McLaurin. And I think with them going with their whole new rebranding, I think they want to go a little flashier. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is flashy, but I think Drake London is also pretty flashy. He's from University of Southern California. He's been under the big lights there as well. So I think having a guy like him, big body, he's had pro comps like Mike Evans, and I definitely think he'll take a lot of pressure off of Terry McLaurin. So Terry McLaurin can still run those great routes, and Drake London can still throw off a lot of DBs, and it'll help Carson Wentz in the this season.
They definitely need a second receiver, so I like that. But
Yeah.
it's just weird because I've seen so many mock drafts with Kyle Hamilton at 11 to the Commanders.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, secondary is a big hole for them, but I think right now, I think having that scary front seven is enough pressure, and I'm sure they can definitely fill like the safety position
Yeah, for sure.
in the second round. I'm sure Daquan will be there.
Yeah. All right. So with the number 12 overall pick, I get another thing that I've seen a lot is Derek Stingley to the Vikings. And I would love that. I think he's the best corner in the draft. I think that what he did in his first year at LSU was amazing, locking down Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase in practice and locking down pretty much every other SEC receiver that year. Very, very, very impressive. But he has kind of, moved down a little bit in rankings and just overall play on the field hasn't been as good. And it would be a perfect match. But also looking right at Kyle Hamilton's name, who I think has the potential to be the best player in this draft. Probably what would have been the best player in the draft before the combine. Just everyone's really concerned about his, bad combine, and everyone is saying, and I watched film on it too, and I've kind of calmed down on the Kyle Hamilton love. He trusts his eyes too much. Like, if he believes that a play is going to happen, he's going to run right towards it, and quarterbacks can definitely pick that apart. But I think if you have Harrison Smith as the other safety on that team, I think you're going to be fine. So I'm picking Kyle Hamilton to go to the Minnesota Vikings. I think it's a perfect pairing. Safety is one of the biggest needs for this team. The other safety starting is Cameron Bynum, who was a 4th-round pick last year and really didn't – like, a lot of people really like him. I thought he was fine, but I think Kyle Hamilton's a massive improvement. And there's not a lot of safety depth either. So Cam Bynum can definitely be a guy that can, come in if Kyle Hamilton or Harrison Smith get hurt. And I think that this is perfect. I don't think it's going to happen, but I really like it.
So with the Texans, obviously they need everything. So I'm thinking either they go corner or receiver. But I think the receivers are so deep that they can wait on one and take Stingley, because if he fell to the 13th round, they would take him. Him and Desmond King is, a decent pairing at corner, but you need a corner if Desmond King's your cornerback one. So I think I like Derek Stingley here. And again, the receiver class is, it's deep in terms of I feel like a lot of them can be interchangeable unless it's the top 5 or 6. So Sky Moore, Christian Watson or something. If one of them falls to Texans in the second round, then they can take him. So I like Stingley here just because the cornerbacks, they kind of fall off after kind of Andrew Booth, maybe after even Trent McDuffie, they fall off. So I think taking it, solidifying a nice cornerback 1 or 2 here in Stingley is what the Texans can do.
All right.
I don't know if you guys agree with that. But
No, I agree. Definitely, for sure. I think he's the best corner in the class.
It's just, it's the receivers are so deep, so might as well just take probably the best corner in the draft at 13, where you didn't even expect him to fall. So.
Yeah, and corner is not deep at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I like McDuffie. I think Booth is okay, and I think that there's a pretty big drop off after that when you look at.
And then if you look at
stuff.
Receivers, there's just
there's a million of them.
There's so many. John Mechie fell so far too.
And we'd already had 2 drafted, and look how many there still are.
Yeah, they have plenty of chances to draft a receiver. David Bell, even they have Wan'Dale Robinson.
By the
Ross
way,
is gonna be good.
Kyle Phillips, he is going to be good in this league.
Justin Ross is too. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
So they can take a receiver in the 3rd round and still be fine. So it's better to solidify a position where it's not that deep in the draft. So.
Srikar with the Ravens.
All right, so the Ravens, they're one of the smartest. So with the Ravens pick, they're one of the smartest organizations in the league. They usually hit on their pick. I'm picking Jordan Davis. I think this is a
Okay.
no-brainer. They having Jordan Davis, he brings speed, power, every
Can you just
he will be scary for AFC North offenses.
All right.
I was
Perfect.
gonna say if he throws again, can you just do it with Jared? But we're fine, man.
All right. Philly. So a lot of people think that the Eagles should take receiver here. I personally am not one of those people, and that's because they have taken a receiver very high in their last 3 drafts. They took in 2019 in the second round, they took JJ Arcega-Whiteside. In 2020, they took Jalen Reagor. Everyone knows about that. And in 2021, last year, they took Devonte Smith. They finally hit on one. And I know that Jalen Reagor and JJ Arcega-Whiteside are basically irrelevant at this point, but I don't think that they're going to take a receiver in the first round. There's a lot of other positions on this team that can be definitely improved, and I think that what they're going to do first is go with Trent McDuffie out of Washington, guy that can play man or zone, and he's a really great player for the Eagles. And outside of Darius Slay, they have no cornerback depth, so I'm going to go with Trent McDuffie.
I'm doing my own mock draft. I'm following along. So, okay. Nope, that's an ad. Okay. The Saints are also an interesting team because with Kamara, his whole debacle that they may draft a running back, but not this early. And then they also have obviously receivers because outside of Michael Thomas, who they really have, and then they can also go for O tackles or O linemen like Trevor Penning. And
there he goes.
Like Trevor Penning, but I think if Garrett Wilson's there at 16, you take Garrett Wilson.
Okay. I think that's the best move possible.
Yeah. Give more weapons to Jameis, and in lieu of Alvin Kamara probably not playing to start the season, or maybe not even at all, then keep supplying him with weapons. Obviously, he needs an O-line, but if he has more targets, then I think he'll be able to pass it quicker and just be more successful in the pocket. They can always draft another O-line, I guess, but the O-line depth is kind of not great. But
No,
they have
not.
a pick at 19, so if Penning falls or if Linderbaum's there, then they'll probably take one of him. Oh, they're not going to take Linderbaum, but if Penning's there, then they're probably going to take him.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on what you said with the running backs.
I think I should have took Penning at 16 because then they could have taken a receiver at 19.
I mean, Garrett Wilson, I think, is far better than the rest of the receivers here. I think he's probably the best in the class, if I'm being honest.
They're pulling a Bengals where they're picking receiver over O-line, and it's going to work.
I mean, yeah, I think that's a great fit. I think that, him and Michael Thomas, both Ohio State guys, would be absolutely perfect. I just admitted him. That should have worked.
And then the Eagles probably would have taken him at 18, then it would have been stuck to the water. So I think
I wouldn't have, but in real life, that's probably what would happen. But yeah.
Hey, what would you have done?
I wouldn't have taken a receiver. Again, I don't think they've taken a receiver in the first round. But yeah, what you were talking about the running backs, Alvin Kamara's first court hearing, he didn't go. And the second one was just postponed again till August 1st. So the Saints, I don't even know. Oh, they still have Mark Ingram, but if you're going into the season with Mark Ingram as your starting running back, you're kind of screwed at this point. The Texans did that last year, and look where the Texans are. Now, the Saints have other holes, but there's a chance that by their first, second rounder, that the main running backs are gone. Okay, he's just not here. That's really unfortunate. I don't know. At 19, I wouldn't absolutely rule out them drafting a running back. People reach in drafts all the time. There's always one or two, or maybe even 3 first-round picks where you're like, what the fuck were they thinking? And
I get to pick for them.
I think that the Saints, I'm doing like my final mock draft tomorrow. I'm not going to do that, but it would not shock me at all, and I don't think it's the worst idea.
I'm also going to do a final mock draft tomorrow. I can post the results on Instagram of our own separate mock draft.
There you go.
Boom. Idea.
All right. Srikar, what are we?
Who's Bernard?
Well, what's the idea?
Is your camera not working?
No, okay.
Can you just do it with you, Jordan?
I mean, yeah, you come in here. Wait, I think it's working. Okay,
Is it working now?
yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
So I went with Trent McDuffie for the Eagles, and James picked Garrett Wilson for the Saints. And now you're done.
I'm kind of regretting Garrett Wilson, but I feel like they're going to go receiver.
Nah, I think that's a great move. Me personally. So
Yeah.
Shrieker, you're up for the Chargers.
Okay, yeah. So for the Chargers, they don't really have that many holes. That they have are really small, and that's why I think at this point they could go flat.
Can you just do it?
And I think the reason behind that is he's a very speedy guy, a great route runner. You already have Mike Williams. You just gave him a good contract. You gave Keenan Allen a good contract, but I think there are wide receivers in the second and third round that would be available that they can just plug in here. So, if Chris Olave is there, there's definitely a good chance they could pick him up. But I think what they can pick is Devin Lloyd. They don't really have that many good linebackers, so having a guy like Devin Lloyd will definitely help that linebacker core.
That is exactly who I was going to pick for the Eagles. That's great.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to look at the Eagles depth chart because you just stole what I wanted.
You can pick Linderbaum since they don't have a center after.
Yeah, that's definitely an option.
They have Kelsey.
Yeah, but this is going to be
for like a year.
Yeah, the left tackle is definitely an issue.
Yeah.
They again another.
Wait, didn't they just give a good contract to Mailata?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't know.
Oh,
they can definitely use linebackers, which is why I was going to go with Devin Lloyd. I think that'd be a perfect fit. But it looks like this is a team that can use run stuffing again, or with Fletcher Cox being very old. He got cut this year. Brandon Graham too. I don't love. They're like decent there, but they can definitely be better. This roster for the Eagles is pretty good. It's really tough. I think I'm gonna. Okay. Oh my God, Zoom is the worst. I can't click on the other tab. I'm gonna say what you did. I'm gonna go with Tyler Linderbaum for the Eagles. Protect Jalen Hurts as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's easy for me because the pick I wanted at 16 fell to 19. Give him Trevor Penning. Easy as that. Like if he's there, take him.
All right.
I mean, they could go running back, but I think they're content with Mark Ingram for now, so I think they're going to work on it.
All right. Shrieker is up at 20 for the Steelers.
And I think this QB, the Steelers are definitely an interesting team because I think they're one of the few teams that would be interested in trading up in this draft. I think most teams are trying to actually trade down because at least you can get some more draft capital, and the players that you're probably thinking of drafting will probably fall there. But I think a guy like Malik Willis might not fall all the way down to 20. So he's definitely a guy that Mike Tomlin would love to draft, because I know during his pro day, Mike Tomlin was eyeing him and they were having a lot of conversations. And I think it's definitely a good fit too. You have a guy like Mike Tomlin in your corner. He's going to coach you really well. You succeed Ben Roethlisberger, who's a Hall of Fame QB. So I definitely think Malik Willis to Pittsburgh would be a success.
All right. I'm up with the Patriots. A lot of people think that they should be going with a corner because they just lost Stephon Gilmore, obviously, and they lost J.C. Jackson. I like Andrew Booth, considering that. I don't think that they need they have all like good wide receiver twos. It's kind of pointless for them to just draft a lot of them, or another one that, who knows if they can even be a cornerback one or a wide receiver one. Their secondary, other than that, is fine. I feel like their edge rushers are fine with Matt Judon and all them. I kind of think that they can go interior offensive line. I like Zion Johnson and Kenyon Green. I'm gonna go with Zion Johnson for the Patriots. I'm gonna say that they pass on a corner and just try and beef up that offensive line for Mac Jones. Zion Johnson's a very versatile guy. He can play both guard positions. I think that, for the ACC or playing in the ACC, I think that he'd work pretty well. He doesn't have to move much because Boston College to New England. So I'm going to go with him to New England.
Okay, now I know. So obviously I'm going to go receiver for the Packers here. But it's just determining between Olave and Traylon Burks. But they're probably. I need to see this. I feel like they're gonna go Olave because he's. You know what? Yeah, Chris Olave. Screw it. They're going Chris Olave. There's not much reason. I think he's just the best receiver right now available, and with Rodgers back and Devonte Adams gone, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling gone because that matters. They're gonna need receiver help, and I think Olave is a good place to start. Nothing. They probably could use help, a little bit of help on defense, but I think with Rodgers resigning there, they're going to want to actually draft him a good receiver because Amari Rodgers was not great.
Yeah, Srikar with the Cardinals.
So with the Cardinals, I think you definitely want to help bolster that O-line. They went and got a wide receiver last year, and they helped secure AJ Green to that team again for this year at least on a 1-year deal. So I think wide receiver right now is fine, but if you click on O-line real quick. So right now, I think go to enter. Yeah, I think they have to pick a James Boyd Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. I think
Kenyon Green,
the original.
Kenyon Green. Yeah, Kyler Murray was running around for his life against the Rams, and he's going to be doing a lot more of that at least for next year and the year after that. Just having the Niners and the Rams in his division. So having a guy like Kenyon Green adds some more protection to that line.
I like it. All right, I'm going to go on Dallas's because Dallas low-key has a lot more needs than you think. They can use another corner because Anthony Brown sucks. Who, Jerry Jones?
Yeah.
What?
He was Taco Charlton was his son's pick. Micah Parsons was my pick.
Okay.
He was trying to slut. He was like, I'm the one making decisions now, as if that wasn't the thing every year before.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think that going anywhere on the offensive, going with a guard or someone to fill in that right tackle spot would have been a good idea. But pretty much everyone that I would say I really like on the offensive line is gone. I don't think any of these guys are even close to first round worthy. And Bernard Raymond, maybe, but other than that, like we've seen Rasheed Walker play in person. He sucks. So I don't even know why he's that high. So I'm not going to go offensive line here. I don't think that we're going to have any offensive linemen in the end of this mock draft. Yeah, cornerback could be a need. Definitely some run stuffing. And you know what the Cowboys like to do? They like to shake it up and surprise people. They could end up going with another wide receiver. When they picked CeeDee Lamb, no one thought that was ever going to happen, and they did. I'm going to look at corner. I also like Devonte Wyatt a lot. I like Logan Hall a lot too. This guy that could play edge or defensive line. That may end up being who I go with. I like the versatility that he has a lot more than Devonte Wyatt does. I like Karlaftis and Ebiketie as well for Dallas. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Logan Hall at Houston. It's again a little off the board, but he's a guy that again there's always a couple picks in the first round where you're like, what the hell is that? But he'd be a great run stuffer to help with Micah Parsons, and again he can switch to edge too, which would be really helpful for this team.
Logan Hall. Logan Hall, there he is. So, whenever I pick for the Bills, I've always had them picking a running back, but I realized that they're not going to take a running back here because they have other needs. Like their cornerback 2 is Saran Neal.
Yeah.
If you know who that is, props to you. But
the only reason I know is the last time we did this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have them take Andrew Booth here. I think they need to obviously strengthen that cornerback position because Saran Neal as your cornerback 2. Like, come on now. You got Trey White and Andrew Booth. That's obviously an upgrade from Saran Neal. So As much as I want them to take a running back here, I think they're not going to, and they're going to obviously boost their defense because their offense is good enough, and so
Yeah,
they
for
need
sure.
defensive help.
And Trey White's coming off an ACL injury, so
Yeah, I think they're going to go corner. They need to. They need to because Saran Neal sucks. So I like that.
all right, Srikar with Tennessee.
Yeah, for Tennessee, I think they could go a lot of different directions here. Obviously, I would say that it was a failed season last year, considering they ended up with the first pick or first seed, and they didn't win a single playoff game. So I definitely think they could have definitely at least tried to win one more. That was a huge upset by Cincinnati. So if you mind clicking on the QB here, I definitely
boy.
think it wouldn't be out of the question to maybe look at quarterbacks if you're Tennessee. And I think they could definitely get a guy like Sam Howell, QB North Carolina.
That's the pick.
Yep.
Wow.
I think he adds immediate impact and strong arm. He's like Baker, where he can be a little reckless in the type of throws he makes, just because he doesn't have that great accuracy. But I think the arm strength is there. He's when he runs just like a freight train. He just bulldozes through. But you don't need him to run because you have Derrick Henry, you have AJ Brown, you have Robert Woods now. You traded for Robert Woods. So I definitely think having a guy like Sam Howell maybe take on in like the middle of the season if, let's just say, Tannehill underperforms greatly. So a guy like Sam Howell, he's a winner.
All right, interesting. I don't think that Tennessee should go with a quarterback at all. There's been a lot of talk about that, and I don't like it. I think it's a team that can contend right now. Like they were literally just the 1 seed last year, and they just I don't
They
know.
had a Mickey Mouse schedule though.
I mean, yeah, but that's going to happen again. They're going to be close to the playoffs. If not, they'll definitely make it. Like they're a really good team, and Tannehill's got a lot of money left on his contract that the Titans have to spend, and a lot of years left too. So, and I just don't think that this is the year to take quarterbacks. There are other holes on that roster, but I mean, it's fine. Whatever. So for Tampa Bay, they need a guard. I definitely think they need a guard. But there is, again, I don't know many of these people. So
Hey, Cole Strange out of your college, Chattanooga.
I did pick Chattanooga to go to the Sweet 16. Don't really know why,
He'll
but I
probably
did.
disappoint just like Chattanooga.
Yeah. But Tampa Bay is a team that needs some help on the defensive line. And edge rusher is definitely a huge I wouldn't say a huge hole, but defensive line is also a huge hole. I'm going to go Devonte Wyatt out of Georgia. We only had one Georgia player drafted so far, or 2 Georgia players drafted so far in Jordan Davis and Trayvon Walker. But Devonte Wyatt made up another great part of that defensive line. Get some run stuffing. He can help out with Vita Vea, and that defensive line is going to look scary again.
Let's see. Let's see the Packers depth chart here.
You took Olave before, if you didn't know.
No, I'm looking at their defense because I'm going to give them some defensive help. And I'm looking at their defensive line, and besides Kenny Clark, there's really no one. And I like what's his name? I like Nikobi Dean, but they have Devondre Campbell, Rashawn Gary, who's kind of nice. Preston Smith is also pretty good. So I think they need help defense, like on the D line, and that's why I'm going to give him Karlaftis here. I think he fell too much. Karlaftis is I like Karlaftis a lot. I know he may not produce as well, but I mean, they really need help defensively, like on the D line, because besides Kenny Clark, they don't really have it.
All right, sounds good.
I don't know how convincing of a pick that is, but I think it's better than Nikobi Dean just because they will need Karlaftis.
Probably better for that team. Not really a whole lot of edge rushers there.
Yeah, again, Nikobi Dean's kind of nice, but yeah, they need edge rushing. So I don't know. It may be controversial because Nikobi Dean is there, but again, they need edge rushing, so Karlaftis. Epic Petty is also a nice pick too, but I think Karlaftis fell too far.
All right, Shrieker, what do you got with what the first of Kansas City's pick?
Go to all the players. Yeah, since they have back-to-back picks, they could go various routes here. I think they could get one of Tyreek's replacements. Obviously, you can't really immediately plug in that hole that Tyreek Hill had when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. So right now, I think they could definitely go for a guy like Treylon Burks. That's my pick here. Get a guy he'll go up for the ball. I think he's definitely his pro comp would probably be like A-Rod because he has big hands. He might not be the fastest, but big hands. He'll win most of those contested catches having a guy like Patrick Mahomes at QB.
Is anyone else seeing what I'm seeing?
But
That Ronald Jones is on the Chiefs.
yeah,
I did not know that.
Dude, it's Lenny season again.
Apparently. Anyway, what I'm looking at for the Chiefs here, that I like, their defense really is taking a hit. They don't have Tyrann Mathieu now. It doesn't look like that they're going to get him back. But Justin Reed is a pretty solid safety to kind of shore up for that. And a lot of people are thinking that they're going to go with Dax Hill with this pick. And I don't know. What I'm looking at is, they drafted Nick Bolton last year. He was pretty good. Willie Gay is solid. This middle linebacker, Jermaine Carter, I have not heard of. And one of our favorite players in the draft is Nikobi Dean. And I think that he would make a lot of sense with this Kansas City team. Again, there are a bunch of safeties that, they could get here. Daxon Hill, Lewis Sign or Cena, however the hell you pronounce it. He's getting a lot of buzz. Jalen Petre is getting some first round, talk. Jaquan Brisker, a guy that we all love, is up there. I don't think that Alam could maybe go here, same with Kyler Gordon, but I'm going to go with Nikobi Dean. I think that this makes a lot of sense, and he could be the quarterback of that defense, and Kansas City is going to be fine.
Okay. I was going to take him with the Bengals because he fell and they need some linebacker help. But looking at their team, I can see that they need some interior offensive lineman help because Jackson Carman is ridiculously stupid. So I'm going to take a guy who fell pretty far because we had him in a first round. Probably in our first mock draft, we had him going in the first round and has now fell to maybe the seventh interior offensive lineman, and that is Darren Kennard. Because he fell a lot, and I still think he's got late first, early second round talent. And if the Bengals can get him at 31, then I think that they should pounce on that. Because he was obviously he was highly touted again in is it touted? Yeah, I don't care. In when we first did our mock drafts, and he just fell a lot. But I don't know why he probably fell because of his pro day. But I still think at 31 they can take a guy. And then obviously work him up to be a starting I did not realize he was an O tackle. I'm stupid.
Jonah Williams can just move to guard. He's kind of better there anyway.
No, because I'm doing it on the draft network, and Kennard's listed as an interior offensive lineman.
Okay. Well, then that just means he's versatile and can play both. So if anything,
they'll
that's
put him
better.
at guard.
Yeah.
I like him because again wow, that was a bad study. He obviously is versatile because he's being listed 2 different positions, but I just like him. He's gonna fall right into the Bengals' lap, and I don't see any other teams picking O tackle anyways or interior offensive line, maybe besides the Titans and maybe the Bucks, but I think they're gonna look past Kennard and the Bengals are gonna get him.
All right. Last pick of the draft is the Detroit Lions. Before we had them picking, what's his name? Kayvon Thibodeau. Srikar, what do you got?
Yeah, so Lions definitely have a good amount of holes in their whole team. Obviously, I think with recent reports like Jared Goff saying he's not really concerned about if there's another QB that he has to compete with. So I definitely think at least for one more year, he will be the starter, and I think he won't have any competition. And looking at their wide receivers, I think getting a guy like DJ Chark, I think that's a position they're fine with. So their defense, there is definitely some holes there. So with that, I'm gonna pick Lewis Cena out of Georgia. I think he's definitely a safety that they could definitely use in that secondary because you don't really know. There's definitely some question marks in some of the players that they have with Okuda playing cornerback. You don't know if he's where he is physically, and then they don't really have that many great players in that safety position. So getting a guy like Cena will definitely be great for that franchise.
Oh,
All right.
also, I forgot to mention, I didn't realize Darian had an I in it, so I've been calling him Darren this whole time, but it is Darian, so I am stupid. I didn't
this
realize
guy's
there's
about
an
to
I in there. I'm tired and I did not see the I.
All right, so that is our mock draft. I'll scroll through it very slowly. Thank you guys for watching. This was awesome. Again, this is our 4th mock draft. It is the final one. The draft is in just a couple days. And as soon as we wake up, obviously Debo Samuel is going to get traded to the New York Jets. So
James
Williams
will probably not get picked.
We will also be individually making our own personal mock drafts, and we'll kind of see who had the most accurate draft in the first round.
Yeah,
we'll post all 3 of them.
Yeah, what were you going to say, James?
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. I made one last year. I can pull it up just to show you guys how good I am at this.
Oh, he's an incredible drafter. Let me tell you.
All right, so first two
last pick of the draft right of the first round.
So the first 2 I got right with Lawrence and Wilson. I feel like that was very easy. I got Jamar Chase right at 5. I picked Mac Jones and Justin Fields to go 3 and 4. That didn't work, or that didn't happen. Penei Sewell at 6. That ended up being Jalen Waddle. Micah Parsons at 7. That ended up being Sewell. I had Kyle Pitts falling at 8 to the Panthers. I had Trey Lance going to the Broncos. I had Pat Surtain going to the Cowboys at 10. I had Devonte Smith going at 11 to the Giants. I had J.C. Horn going at 12 to Philly. I had Rashawn Slater going to the Chargers at 13. I got that right. I had Christian Darrisaw going to the Vikings, but at 14, but I still think that counts. I got Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah, however the hell you say it. He was one of my favorite players last year going to the Patriots. He didn't go to the second round. I had Jalen Waddle going to the Cardinals. The Raiders taking Tevin Jenkins, Travis Etienne to the Dolphins, Elijah Vera Tucker to Washington, the Caleb Farley to the Bears. I got Kwity Paye to the Colts. I don't know how I did that. Rashad Bateman to the Titans, Jalen Phillips to the Jets, Najee Harris to the Steelers. I got that right. Christian Barmore to the Jaguars. That was one of me and Srikar's favorite players last year. I don't really know why. Jamin Davis to the Browns, Gregory Rousseau to Baltimore, the Saints to draft Terrace Marshall. That didn't happen. Creed Humphrey to go to the Packers, Zaven Collins to go to the Bills, Jalen Mayfield to go to the Ravens, and Joe Tryon to the Bucks. I got that right. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, obviously that's
Jared,
again.
But Jared, did you have Alex Leatherwood going to the Raiders?
No, I don't think the Raiders even did until it was literally about 9:30, and they were just like, you know what? Why not? We're all gonna get. Okay, let's just take this guy.
But did they have a pick in the first? I know we just went over it. But
No, because they traded it for Adams. I'm pretty sure they don't have a second either.
All right, so there's no way they can screw us over now with this mock draft.
Yeah, but someone will. There's 8 teams this year without a first round pick.
That seems like
interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's the most ever.
Wait, why'd you write under the Lions right again?
Because I wrote that we were right for the first one, and then I just kind of stopped doing it.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. That was awesome. We'll have this up on YouTube pretty soon. We'll be working on this tomorrow. But yeah, the draft. Get excited for the draft. Good luck to all your teams. And yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. Follow us on or subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Route Runners Podcast. Listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and find us on Instagram at Route Runners Pod, on TikTok at Route Runners Podcast. And yeah, again, make sure to like and subscribe. It goes a long way. Please try and make sure you do that. And thank you guys for listening. And we will catch you next time. We're definitely going to do a draft recap, some TikTok videos about that, trying to collab with Stick to Sports Network again, maybe for a full recap of the entire draft, which would be awesome. But yeah, we hope that you guys really enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time.
Oh, one thing to note. Our individual mock drafts, they will be posted to Instagram, so you can judge them or make fun of them however much you want. But
Perfect.
They will be posted, and we can compare. Obviously, we're not going to tell each other who we pick, or I don't think we should tell each other who we pick until like they're posted.
Okay,
So,
sounds good to me.
But like, I don't know how it's gonna work, but we'll figure it out. And then we can obviously you guys can compare them, and then we can compare them. We'll get made fun of, but it's whatever.
And Shrieker's
look
frozen
out.
again, so I'm just gonna.
Just look
And
out
this
for
one.
that tomorrow. The Broncos.
All right.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye bye.